Welcome back, guys, to the Mr. and the Sister podcast. I guess I'm the Mister,
And I'm
you.
the sister.
Yeah. I did a disclaimer at the beginning of the first episode talking about how I learned very quickly record mode on Streamlabs. Long story short, my mic wasn't working. You have to separate the audio tracks. It's all very technical in like an edit. If you're a creator or you've done podcasts in person with somebody, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. I had to learn that the hard way because on the first episode, she was like, her mic was working and she was louder, and I'm like more in the background because her mic is picking up my voice. Luckily, or else it would be not that great. So I sort of, I had to just like she texted me this morning and was like, just because like we're doing this podcast like for the first time and everything, like we're both really excited about doing it. We're addicted, mindset anyway, addicted to the recording because we had so much fun last night with it that she texted me before I was even awake, like just so record today, like, and obviously I know it was like a joke. But then,
But it wasn't.
but then 2 hours later, without me replying yet, 2 hours later, all caps, like, what did you say? It was like,
I really want to.
oh yeah, I really want to. And I was just like, you know what? I'm the type of person that whenever I make a mistake, like a mic not working on a first episode of something, I really want to, like, make up for it by, like, just going ahead and uploading the second episode. Like, it's like, and I was thinking in my head, like, the quicker we record, the longer, like, how I feel about it is the longer, like, the less time we have to wait to, like, fix the problem. Because the only way to test something is to, like, just do it. And so it was that situation of, like, I don't know, but I know what I did wrong and it's fixed now, so you guys should be getting better quality. But you can't start something without a technical problem, so.
Right? No, I was thinking about it this morning. Like, whenever I woke up, I was like, man, I had a lot of fun last night. I was definitely feeling it, though, because I normally don't stay up that late.
Yeah.
And I was like, I really want to record today. And I was like, I don't know if he'll have time. And I was trying to see what I had to do today. And I was like, I guess I could fit it in my schedule. Normally I would be in bed by now. But recording is way more important. So, I'm the kind of person that, I don't have to be at school for another 12 hours, but that's 12 hours of laying in bed, winding down, like, all that kind of stuff. But now I'm like, as long as I'm in bed by midnight and get 8 hours of sleep, I'll be fine.
Right.
So,
yeah. That's literally like how I am with work. Like, I'm like, I'll just stay up. I'll get my 8 hours, even though I know sometimes my body needs more. But they say 8 hours is the healthy option. I feel like for my sanity, well, like, just the way my body operates, I swear it needs like 9 or 10, but I don't always give that to myself. But yeah, I definitely slept in today. It's funny that you said in episode 1 that you wake up with like a pounding headache. That was me today, and I think it's because I had that late night coffee. So I was like, dang it, man! Like, that's what it was. Maybe I was technically dehydrated, but yeah, this wasn't in the plan originally to just like jump into it, but we, are excited to do it, and I think we're truly gonna be addicted to recording. I think we're gonna be like doing spontaneous recordings, which is great. It's part of the adventure. So yeah, if you're listening to this now, episode 1 is available by this point. I'm probably going to drop them around the same time, if not upload them back to back. I think that'll be a good way to kind of like, not sit on that mistake, what that was the other one, but it was just such a good episode that I had, like, by the time you're hearing this, it's uploaded. Like, I have to upload it. We just went into too much stuff, and because Lacey was asking, are we gonna have to redo that one? I was like, there's like no redoing it. The only way I would have said like we redo episode 1 is if like like it was literally really bad. You couldn't hear me, but like you can hear me. It's just like it's just the the sound is not even, and so hopefully it is now. But yeah, and I mean this pod, we invite questions. We invite questions about ourselves or get to knowing you guys or whatever. Like, even if you're one person listening whenever this is uploaded, like, and that's all we get, still appreciate it. This is fresh for us. It was just a new idea. Um, and I mean, I mean, if you heard the first episode, you know, like, we talk about life. Like, I mean, we went into some stuff and it was like, I'm not saying that I didn't expect it to be that good. I just was like, is it probably going to be kind of a rough draft sort of episode where, like, but no, we got into the meat of stuff immediately, and I like it. There's not really like a particular direction for the pod. I think it's just like, just literally shooting the breeze as siblings, and see where it goes, because like I said in the first ep, like, you know, not to just repeat myself, but basically, like, you know, me and her can get on the phone and talk for like 5 hours. So it's like if we just channel that into like podcasting, like, you know, I think we'll really enjoy it. I mean, we're already, you know, like we both agreed to do this today. That tells me like, you know, that we're in it.
Yes.
But what do you think? You got any thoughts?
I like talking. I'm a very talkative person, and I'm excited to put that into the podcast and this be like our, like I was saying yesterday, like our therapy session.
Yeah.
So
It's good to let stuff out, I feel like, and like we do that to each other anyway.
mhm.
Like we just vent about whatever.
And man, did I have a vent today about my whole Walmart experience.
You want to talk about that?
I can. I'm still heated about it. So 11:30 this morning, I went to go place a Walmart pickup order, and it was gonna charge me like $9 or $10 extra to pick up an order that was under $35. And me and Kevin were like, "We'll just go into the store." Well, I get into the store, and we get shopping like done, whatever, at the checkout. Kevin forgets his card. He's a forgetful person. Pretty sure it was in the car, but we just didn't want to go and get it. So he's like, "I'll just Cash App you the money." Keep in mind that I don't really keep money on my Cash App. So whenever he Cash Apped me, I went to go pay for the order, and it declined. And I was like, what the heck? So then I checked my Cash App, and $40 came out from Walmart. And I was like, why did that happen? Like, my order total on the screen wasn't even $40. I'm like, is there a mistake with the register? No, it's... Then I got a text, because Cash App texted you, and it was like, your order from March 29th has been updated, and then says the total. So I called them, and pretty much what happened was they charged my card whenever I got the order on March 29th, and then they charged it again randomly, coincidentally happened while I was at Walmart. And I guess it's just because I never keep money on my card, and they called, and they were like, well, it won't be in, like, you will get your refund within 7 days, and we're having problems with double charging from previous orders. And the own manager there was like, yes, that's happened to me before. I'm like, that is so stupid, because I was on, like, thankfully we did have the money to pay for our groceries, but I was thinking, like, what about moms who have kids, and like that's the last penny that they have they're spending on food and stuff, and then that just gets taken from a glitch in the app, and they don't have the money to feed their kids. Like, that is so frustrating, and like I was very upset in that moment, because luckily it didn't affect me, but I'm just thinking about if they're having that problem, or it's happening to so many people from doing Walmart orders, like that it's just crazy and frustrating. And she said it happened to her like a few months ago. Like, wouldn't you already have it fixed? Like,
Yeah.
So it was just very frustrating, and As soon as he woke up, then I called him and I was like, "Let me tell you what happened today."
Yeah. I literally, I'm a night owl, so I kind of sleep in, quote unquote, more than like more than the average person's like sort of like schedule and stuff but it's also the way my wife sleeps. Like she gets up at 4:45 p.m. to go to work, so that's an example of that. So I slept kind of like almost to that, but my head was hurting so bad, and like I knew, like, it was one of those things where you're waking up and you think to like what I have to like think about what I'm about to do. So like I knew in my head, okay, I saw your text, so I'm about to like prepare my brain to say like, yeah, let's do that actually. And but my head was pounding, so I was like, okay, and I gotta tell her about last night. One of the mics wasn't working, and like so I called you and like yeah, so she could probably tell. I was like, listen, you're telling me information. I'm just gonna warn you. I'm very groggy right now, and I am currently caffeinating. So give me a second. But
Yes, because I remember he was responding. Actually, I'll just read it. Um,
but yeah,
yes, for time reference, I texted him. Well, maybe I didn't because it's not here. Oh, it's because you texted me earlier. Anyway, I texted him at noon. Film today, lol. And then I really want to. And then at 3:50, you finally responded to me and was telling me about the whole mic situation. I was like, just call me when you can, because at that point I had just gotten out of Walmart and I was fuming. So.
Well, you should add the detail though about and this isn't to like. Well, I mean, let me back up. Tell what you want about what Kevin did. You don't have to like.
Oh, I'll tell.
Okay.
No,
and it's like, and it's not to make him look bad or anything, but me and
he's
Lacey,
not a bad person.
We're very honest here, so like we're just gonna tell the story how it is. So.
We're still talking about the Walmart situation.
Yeah.
Okay, because there's a lot of things that Kevin has done, but like not bad things, just
well, it was definitely something. Y'all were mad. Like I don't blame him.
Yes.
So
Kevin, after the customer support gave us a number to call, we called it and they were like, we're having problems with double charging. You can call this number. Called them, didn't answer. Called them again, didn't answer. Kevin walks out of the store, cart full of groceries, and goes loading up in the car. The women are coming out, like, talking to me. They're like, where'd he go? I'm like, I don't know. He's very upset right now. Then they get on the phone and start calling the police. And I'm like, oh, my gosh, here we go. And Kevin, the lady, we went out and we got Kevin, and the lady's like, you didn't pay for this, sir. He's like, but I did. I have the receipt. It's on her phone. It may have not been these exact orders, but you have my money to cover this order, so this is my food. And they were like, no, sir, like, you can't do that. And they told the police he's coming back in with a car, and we paid for all of it, and we'll get our money back within 7 days. But at that point, when we were processing all that, like, we weren't gonna pay again twice, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
The whole situation was ridiculous. The lady that was very, like, kind, though, she was offering us water and, like, trying to calm Kevin down because Kevin was furious. And I know it doesn't seem like now something to get that mad over, but whenever your card keeps declining over and over again, whenever you know you have the money and they already took the money off of your card, but then you're trying to pay them again, it's just frustrating.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, it definitely was, yeah, it's very angering. It's funny, I don't know, like, I've seen them check receipts and stuff at Walmart. They have that stuff on lockdown, which good on them. Like, I actually not know personally, but I know one of the guys that checks the receipts at the front of this particular Walmart, and I mean, he's got it on lock. Every now and then I'm kind of surprised that he doesn't check my receipt more, but Uh, I don't know, but he just like they got it on lock. I actually know somebody that works at Sam's Club, and he does that stuff too. And people will pull stuff. Not that y'all were, but like people will pull like they try to walk out with something that that's just not on the receipt. And my buddy, we call him Blue. Blue will check the receipt, and they even have like a scanner for the system and stuff. And he's just like, "Ma'am, it's not on the receipt." Like, and then they get all mad, like, just they get defensive or whatever. It's like they're just doing their job, and those guys at the front, like, also take they also take a lot of abuse, as well. I know somebody else at another Walmart that switched departments because he's an older gentleman and he could not take it anymore. Like, because people were just like literally will threaten you. Like, I don't know. It's just the craziness of like Walmart, Sam's Club, and just retail in general. But yeah. But no,
Yeah.
Kevin is not a criminal. Let's just
No.
put that out there. But no, he had a right to be upset, and like, it's crazy. But I mean, anybody got any like horror stories with a retail place like Walmart or whatever? Let us know. But what else?
I'm trying to think. What else? Oh, I thought our computer just shut off. Not it. I'm honestly not sure.
I feel like you had something just now.
Yeah, I had something and then it completely went over my head. But what did you do today?
Well, like I had texted you. I was like, look, like like it's probably good that because you had said like 8 o'clock or whatever, and I was like, okay, so I got time to do stuff. So I squeezed in after Ashley went to work. I squeezed in going to the gym, and I have not been there in a while. And I was actually very surprised with like a Sunday, like, because usually the weekend kind of like gets kind of busy in there. But I was very, very grateful that there was barely any people and most of the machines were available. But yeah, I'm just kind of like getting back sort of into like not necessarily fitness, but just like taking more care of my body and like and just whatever. Like it's like, okay, today was like go back after a while, right? That doesn't mean I'm back into it, but I'm back into it lately in my mind, because and this is just a little bit of advice to anybody that's struggling with this exact thing, that thing that I struggle with all the time. When it's my weekend, like I want to rest, but I don't really feel that great unless I get some sort of exercise. Like, I mean, not all the time, but sometimes you're just feeling bogged down or anxious or whatever, so much on your mind. It's like, look, a workout, even if it's small, can go such a long way in like making your mental health better. I think, I can't really speak for women and how it works, but as a man, what do they call it that releases? I'm not just talking about dopamine. I mean, like, it's like the man hormone thing or whatever, but and it sounds kind of silly to say this, but, I know a lot of men go way too far with this sort of idea, but it is technically like a primal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like a very, like, workout. Like, it's not just like, oh, let's go, let's throw footballs and women, like, or whatever, like, or whatever into the air. Like, it's like Theo Vaughn thing he said, but, if he was making a joke about, like, what if I was just super straight? I'd be throwing footballs and hot chicks in the air. I'm like, what? Anyway, but it's, I don't know. It's you're feeling stressed, whatever. Go work out. It literally, like, even if it's like you go in your living room and do push-ups, like it will refuel you, even if you don't necessarily know. There's nothing like a workout and then a shower, like, and you might feel kind of tired, but like, it's So I'm getting into that mindset of like here's the problem with working out. I am never going to want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Never am I ever going to be like, oh, I'm really excited to work out today. Like, by the time I get to the point where I'm ready to go, like, I'm ready to go. I have that confidence and that self-discipline. It has nothing to do with the people there or anything like that, but I have that self-discipline of like, let's go, and I, maybe throw on some heavy music and just freaking get into the mind of like, let's lift, let's walk and stuff. It's just literally in my entire life I've had this problem of self-discipline. And shout out to any guys out there, any girls that have that exact. Like I said, I can only give the perspective from a guy, but like, we're supposed to do that. Like, we're supposed to get exercise. It's natural for your body. There's so much stuff for your brain that helps. And I'm just, if I'm being honest, I've been very angry at work lately. Very like, just not feeling myself. Kind of more so becoming more of what I don't want to be, in the way of like getting mad super fast and stuff like that. And sometimes you gotta go let it out at the gym. It's not, like I said, it's almost like a primal thing. You tap into like something that's like, ancestors and stuff like that. I mean, I'm just saying, like, we as humans used to be so, centuries back, we were so much healthier. Like, America is just this like, just poisoned mental health, like just constantly like scrolling and like screens and all this. And look, I love video games, and I am a creator, so I look at a lot of screens and edit and stuff like that. But like but lately I've just been in that self-motivation of like, and I know Lacey, all she asked me is what I did today, but that's the point of the pod. Like, we can go down these rabbit holes of like inspiration. Like, I truly feel for people that feel like me, where it's like, and sometimes it's just like my self-confidence, nothing to do with going to the gym or whatever, but I do have like a main YouTube channel where I film food reviews and stuff like that, and sometimes I'm just like, my self-esteem's low or whatever, and like, so, just whatever to help that, you don't have to be like you don't have to be Dwayne The Rock Johnson, like, you just go and like, but I'm very happy to like see that even before like really dedicating myself to kind of going back to working out and stuff, like I have lost a few pounds, and I think that was naturally somehow, and I think I blame it on the summer heat. So I'm taking advantage of the summer heat right now to like, okay, get outside, like go to the gym, sweat it out, like, and every now and then go on an outside walk. I don't care how hot it is, like just go, but don't push yourself. Sweat is good, even though it sucks. It sucks to be sweaty, but it's like, you can just come home and shower. Like, it's simple as that. So I've been trying to fit that into my schedule, where it's like, because I do stream on Twitch and stuff, and I try not to get into the mindset of like, just stream instead. Like, if I sit there and stream for hours, like, at the end of the day, it's not healthy. I'm actually way more energized after I work out, and then I can get excited to like do what I love to do, which is like create and like connect with people live and stuff like that. And like just play some games and chill with some music on and all that. Like, it's so much better after a workout, I feel like, and that is a problem that I have. It's so much easier to stuff your face with cookies and sit around, like, and everybody should be able to do that every now and then. You gotta live, and have fun, and enjoy the little things, but you just can't. I feel like, we live in a world now where we just got carried away with like not doing anything. And I'm just, personally, for myself, I'm sick of it. Like, I'm genuinely like sometimes it's kind of, it goes way deep when I say it like this, but it's so true. If I was able to have conscious thought after I died, like if I was able to have that moment when you're going to the light of like thinking about your whole life, or thinking about some recent, like, basically if you were able to be conscious of like what you didn't get to do because you just died. Sometimes I think about that, how it's like, what would you regret that you did not get to do, or that you didn't do in time before you passed? And that is one thing, is for sure, like, to be healthier, and to just to even get to a point of fitness where, like, I can look back on what I did because I self-disciplined myself. Because when you get out of the house and you become an adult, and I mean, you're experiencing this now as like an adult, but you're discovering this too. Once we're out of our parents' houses and stuff, it is up to us. Like, in the world, like, we are not. No one is telling us do this or just simple things like drink water, brush your teeth, or whatever, like all that stuff, like all the stuff that's like sometimes we don't do because we just don't feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing with the gym for me, where it's like, it's not even like I switched gyms and it's not even that far. Like, it's literally down the road basically. And it's 24/7. I could go literally right now if I wanted to. Again, like, I could just access it. Like, it's so easy. And it's like, but what is so much of the restriction, Because it's just easier to sit at home and stream or play games or whatever. But even though I've been feeling very busy, like I have, this podcast now, I've got all these other projects, all these like irons in the fire that I do love, but I can't succeed at them if I don't feel better first. So at the end of the day, it's like health comes first. Anyway, I went down a big rabbit hole, but I want this podcast to be like we can share what's on our mind. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure I'll say millions of you. We don't have a million viewers, but if millions of you heard it right now, you could relate in some way. Just a few of you could probably relate to any of that I'm saying. So please take care of yourself. Self-discipline yourself, yes. Like, it sucks. If you're sitting on the couch right now and you feeling that feeling of like, I need to be doing something, but you can't bring yourself to put your phone down and do it, like, you just, like, rip the Band-Aid, bro. You have to just do it. And I mean, even today, like, I still kind of took my time to get to the gym. Like, I still had restriction, but I knew, well, you're going today, whether you like it or not. Like, you have to have that, like, I guess, quote-unquote, angel on your shoulders telling you, like, do it no matter what. You're never going to like it. Like, I'm never going to. Working out sucks. Like, you sweat, the burn sucks. Like, you guys know that feeling of when you go up a lot of steps and your legs are on fire? Like, that's what working out is. So if you go and do that, but for different muscles, and it sucks. But that's why you have to do it. We have to do the difficult things. And this is something that I'm learning, guys. Like, I'm genuinely learning how to do this, how to be, quote-unquote, a grown man and, like, actually do things that I say I'm going to do instead of just making up stuff, making up excuses. Like, I've just come to accept, like, when it comes to the hard things in life, you're not going to want to do it.
Right.
What was difficult for you?
A lot of things.
I remember thinking this today. I remember thinking I should mention this, like, and I know we kind of covered it in the first episode, and eventually we'll talk about, like, a lot of this stuff. Maybe not in, like, gruesome detail, but you have been through a lot for a 19-year-old.
Yes. I did remember what I was going to say earlier.
Okay.
So, but bouncing off of what you were saying, then I took, because I was having, and I talked about in the last episode that I was having a very hard year. Yeah. And I still am. Like, I'm still struggling with depression and anxiety. And it's hard. Like, it is hard every day I wake up. And every day so since I took 6 months off of work and going to school, then I started school back about a month ago now. And getting up every morning and making myself go to school is probably one of, like, the hardest things I have to do every day, is just getting out of bed. And I have to leave for school at 8:45. I will literally lay there until 8:30 and take 15 minutes getting ready. And then I feel not like crap, but I don't look my best all day because most of the other girls there have been going there for a while, so they know to like get up, do their hair and their makeup and stuff. Because actually, like, not a rule, but like, I don't know, like, expected at school is for you to get up looking like you know what you're doing, or
Dress code.
Dress code, but also take, and this is how my instructor explained it to us. Take somebody who walks in with no makeup and their hair looks like they just rolled out of bed, compared to somebody who has their hair done and makeup done and who is like, you're doing somebody else's hair and makeup. So, which one would you choose? Like, it is expected for you to come to school every day looking like you would want to make somebody else look. Like, that's how they view, and that sucks. Like, you're not viewed, if they've never seen your work before, you're not judged by your work, you're judged off how you look. That's just how cosmetology is everywhere. So I'm not on the floor, I'm not taking actual clients for another couple months because I'm still learning, and practicing and all that kind of stuff. But like, so I'm not really so hard on myself to get up and get out of bed and do my hair, do my makeup, like actually put effort into what I look, but I still want to do that for myself. And I don't. So I find like myself, at night before I go to bed, I'm sitting there thinking like, what can I curl my hair and put hairspray in it just so it'll look good in the morning? Like, can I, like put, I know this sounds crazy, but like, what makeup can I get away with just doing a little bit of so that I can look like presentable tomorrow? I would feel so much better about my whole day if I just got up earlier, did my hair, did my makeup, and felt confident in the way that I look all day. And I know I shouldn't compare myself to other people, but some of these girls come to school with a full face of makeup on and looking like they just got their hair done, and I just rolled out of bed with no makeup, no hair done, no nothing. Yeah. And it's like, I would feel so much better with myself if I took the time and effort to do that. But I just can't right now. And it's only been a month, so just getting on school on time and my attendance is really, like, that's improvement already. So, yeah, but it's self-discipline. Yeah, nobody's making me go to school.
Yeah, that's kind of the point I made earlier. Like, nobody, once you're out of your parents' house, it's like, there's no rules for life. You literally could just have no job, sit there, like, get huge and just like never do anything, and there's no rules, and it's like, well, that's one thing that makes life hard, is the adulting part. Once you become an adult, it's all about self-discipline. I think we've all had versions of that where we've let ourselves kind of go in that way, and like, I'm the same way about like, I sleep to the last second of work. I have 30 minutes till it starts, and I live like, I can drive like 3 to 5 minutes from work, and it's not a big deal. But like, I walk in there and like, like, I feel like people, they don't expect you to be, but like, I always have just woke up. So when people start talking to me, it's like, I need like an hour. It's like, please, but I'm forced. I mean, if anything, it kind of wakes me up. Like, that anxiety starts to kick in a little bit of like, oh, what's the agenda for today? What do we... Like, what's gonna be a problem or something from yesterday? Like, they hold grudges there. Like, if you did something, like, on a Saturday and you go back in Tuesday, like, most likely they will remind you, or... Anyway, but that's just whatever it is. But, like, yeah, I mean, I think that's a really good, I think that is kind of a good almost subject of the entire ep, is just like self-discipline. Like, it really is. And I mean, but you're going, right. So it's like you're trying that, but at least you're aware of like what you need to help. Like, obviously, in my opinion, with the whole like judge, like, as long as no one's judging you, like, or outwardly, they might judge you in their brain, but like, what you don't know don't hurt you, I guess.
Right.
But I can understand how your brain would get all wrapped up in it and then have anxiety from it. But like, honestly, you're taking more care of yourself by getting the sleep you need.
Right.
But yeah, there is a lot. I mean, I need to work on that too when it comes to like getting up earlier for work. and stuff like that, just to like, because honestly, the only reason I'd want to do that is just to be more awake, like when I get there. But then I see the night shift come in before my shift ends, and they're all like, just woke up or whatever, and they say that out loud. So, with these retail jobs, people don't, it is what it is. Like, it's not, you don't have to even, it's different than cosmetology because you just look like whatever. But I
Right.
still don't. I'm still self conscious, and I don't want to like look like I'm freaking a zombie. Like, but sometimes I do, and I'm just like, well, that's my fault. I'm not going to bed sooner, or we're not getting up early enough to like get the coffee in my system. I'm like freaking walking in with the coffee, like starting the day like that, where I'm already into the shift and slowly waking up. So it just self discipline is a very big thing. I think we all can work on it, in some way. Like, and I mean, if you're listening to this and you're just like, like, get out of here with that or whatever, like, then like, then you're kind of like part of the problem of like what, if you're so negative about like, like whatever, I'll never do anything or whatever, that's not true. Like, it's not like, come, like, trust me, someone that's never went to college and like just doing a job that I don't even like and stuff like that, trust me, like, self-discipline, man, like, and it makes the little changes. And I'm gonna fall back. Everyone's gonna fall back with this whole inspiration to get back into working out and stuff. I'm gonna slip. I'm gonna eat desserts. I'm gonna like whatever. But I think it's more about consistency of something. You can still kind of treat your body like crap every now and then. But like, what do they say about that? It's like consistency, but also, what's the word that's like, quantity or something, like, but basically, too much of something, like, is what gets you.
Right.
I mean, we all know how it is when you open some Pringles and it's like you could literally, I could eat the whole tube. Like, I've almost done that before, and like I've ate most of a Doritos bag before. I remember that. Just like, man, what is this? Like, no protein in this at all. Like, it's, I don't know, but
Right. And what I was going to say earlier, speaking of work, let's talk about today. So, let me just so I got hired at this place of work about a month ago. It's a serving job, and they took like 2 weeks to do my it was 2 months ago now. 2 weeks to do my orientation, and then it was another week, and they were like, okay, we're gonna get you trained this week. Then it was another week, and they're like, we're gonna get you trained this week, and then they were like, can you come in at this time, this time, and this time? And I'm like, yes, that's fine. They're like, okay, download this scheduling app on your phone so you can see when you're supposed to come in. I download it, and they have completely different times. One starting at 10:15 a.m. for me to come in. I'm like, I'm in school until 3:30. How am I supposed to come in at 10:15? And they're like, we'll get that changed. We'll text you your new schedule. Never text me. Went in the next day to ask them in person what my schedule was because they changed it so many times. And finally, I got through 2 days of training. Only 2 days. And then they asked me a few days ago to come in today. I'm like, yes, that's fine. But at the moment, my car is broken down, so I'm going to need a set time of when to come in and when to be picked up. Because if anybody knows, when your car is broken down, you're relying on a ride, you have to make sure you have a ride to get there and back. So waited all weekend. They didn't call me. I called them today. They're like, can you come in now? I'm like, this was at like noon. They're like, can you come in now? I'm like, no, not right now.
no.
Can you tell me, like, what time to be there, what time to be picked up? They're like, really, just come in when you can, and we're not sure what time you're going to leave. I'm like, what if I come in at 4? What time would I leave? They're like, well, we're not going to be able to tell you that. I'm like, I can't do that. No, if I had a car, okay, but right now, for the next week or so, my car is down, no. So then I checked the scheduling app, and they have me scheduled for many different hours and days that whenever I got hired, I discussed what days I can work and what times. They were okay with that, and now they have my schedule all over the place. And I guess they think I'm missing school to be at work or something, but it's ridiculous. So, like, are you coming today? I'm like, no, I will not be coming in today because you cannot tell me what time I will. I'm a scheduling person.
Yeah, me too.
So, that's not going to fly with me. So, if they fire me, then they didn't really need me anyway.
Right.
So, that was just a ridiculous situation. And they've called me twice in the past hour. As I was on the way over here, they called me. And it, like, was going in and out, and I just hung up. I was like, I'm not dealing with this right now. Like, it's just frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way, and you definitely probably know a little bit of that about me, how I am about just, like, I like a plan. I'll deal with seat of my pants every now and then, but I mostly am a very, like, I'm not saying I have my whole week planned out accordingly at certain times and stuff. Like, I go off, the seat of my pants all the time, but it's, like, but I kind of, like, when I start to wake up on, like, a day off like this, I kind of math out, like, okay, what does my day look like, what time, like, so I cut, even if it takes, a little bit for me to, like, actually schedule it, like, I just, like, I've had times in the past, and this is, like, when I'm a kid, this isn't, like, I'm not talking about recently, but I've had times in the past where, like, maybe someone was supposed to come over or whatever, and, like, it's like, okay, like I remember always being the scheduling person, because I'm just like, okay, like, just to me, it's like, I don't like wishy-washy stuff, like, rather we're doing this or we're not, kind of thing, and, like, that's not to say that stuff can't get pushed, because I've had other projects with people where, like, things got pushed over and over, and by, like, the 5th time that something gets moved, I'm just like, okay, like, are we, and so, and even though canceling plans sometimes is nice, let's just be real.
Mm-hmm.
Canceling plans is those memes on Facebook you see of, like, Saturday night, everybody, we're going out partying or whatever, and then when that day hits, you're like, it's the meme of, like, the dog in bed or whatever that's just like, plans are in 1 hour, and you're just like you don't want to move because by the time you get to the plan, you don't want to do it anymore. And I've had that happen before to myself, like, so if plans get canceled, you're free. Like, that's how it feels. It's like, oh, okay, well, then that opened up, like, and sometimes it's a big thing. It's going to be, like, hours. Like, anytime, like, me and Ashley have ever planned, like, there's been a couple times where I've even got tickets for a movie, and then something comes up, to, like, literally, like, within, like, the last minute of about to go, and then really sometimes it's like, yeah, I was excited to see that movie, but 2.5 hours just opened up. Like, and so that's good, even though sometimes it's a letdown. But I'm just a very planned person, and, I've hung out with people before, like, groups of people that don't know, like, what they're so by the seat of their pants that everything is just like, oh, like, I don't know, like, on vacations with people where people can't make up, like, their mind on what they want to do, whereas, like, at least on the day, at minimum on the day of this vacation or whatever, I kind of want to, like, have it mathed out in my head, like, of what's happening, just because, you get moving that way. You have an hour left while you're doing one thing on a vacation, like a museum or something, and you're going to a show in, like, an hour or whatever. Well, like, we can't, like, just mess around. Like, we already got the tickets or whatever. So, it's just, like, I'm a very scheduled person. I have no regret being that way. I like being that way. That's something about myself I like. I know, sometimes, like, family or whatever, like, not you, but, like, I know some people have gotten probably kind of frustrated, especially when I'm in big groups of people, and it's just, like, I might turn in early because it's not in my plan to, like, like, be up to, like, 4 a.m. or whatever whenever y'all are saying, oh, we're going to get up at 9 a.m. for breakfast. Or, excuse me? Like, I'm just very, like, okay, let's plan stuff and, like, all go to bed at the same time or whatever. Like, I'm just, I don't know, but I like schedules. I like, plans. I like knowing ahead of time when something's happening. Sometimes, obviously, I'll plan things spontaneous with people. I mean, obviously, like today was technically spontaneous, but we had all day
Right.
It wasn't like right now you were like, you want a pod? And then right now I'd probably have to be like, well, probably not today. but but we planned it. So it's like
since
that's
the moment you woke up, you knew about it.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like it was just like, yeah, I mean, if it's at least on the day. But then, of course, there's times where you have to like cancel your plans to like maybe there's an emergency or something with somebody, and you just gotta, sometimes life is just YOLO. You just gotta, and that's what makes it fun. But I really love plans. I'll always prefer plans. But that's just me. But that's cool that's cool to hear that you're the same. So it's similar at least.
Yes.
And maybe it's just something in our bloodline. I don't know.
No, and I think that really comes in with anxiety too, because it's like,
yeah.
As soon as plans change, I'm like, okay, but like, what about this and this? And I get on Kevin's last nerve with that because he is not a planner. And I'm like, no, I have to, because just like even before I came here, while I was thinking about podcasts, I'm like, okay, well, if I get over there at 8 and then we podcast for an hour to an hour and a half, then I'll get in bed by this time and like be asleep. Like I'm a planner down to the T.
And that's good. I mean, it's,
Yes. I actually have like a book at home of like things to do this summer of places that we want to go, because there's not a lot to do here, and like it's timed out. Like this is what time we have to leave the house to get there, and what time we get food, and where we're gonna go in here and here and here. Like my planning skills are like insane, but that's also a thing that I'm really gonna like about being a cosmetologist is you literally have books that you know exactly what time they're coming.
You'll be having appointments and stuff. So
yeah, exactly.
So then you get that little gift of like a 3 p.m. appointment with so and so, and then they cancel, and then you be like, oh, cool. So I get to kind of chill, or I'm sure with cosmetology, it's probably if you got time to lean, you got time to clean, or something. I'm sure they've been teaching you about like clean up the hair around your area.
Yeah, and like the thing is, if they cancel, you can always post and advertise yourself. I have this opening slot.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, there's a different client, a completely different thing that I am doing. Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, obviously, like, I'm glad to hear that most percentage, I guess, of your cosmetology experience is going good.
Yes.
Just, the work thing, I don't get the workplaces that are just like, oh, well, so, it's like you have agreements with interviews, and then it always feels like by the time you get to the real job, it's just like, like, something got mixed up, and I think the problem with a lot of workplaces is they don't communicate with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So the boss didn't tell the employees, the people that actually... because the boss that interviewed you is most likely not the guy that's going to call you to bring you in on a certain day. So he probably didn't even tell somebody. He probably just wrote your name down, and then the person that actually does that looks at that like, oh, in their brain, they have all openings magically. Mm-hmm. And he didn't write down... going to college, needs specific part-time employment or whatever. Like, it's...
Right.
And I won't go into it too much, but my workplace does the same thing where, like, they do not communicate with each other, and then there's all this, like, I'm getting this manager saying one thing, this manager saying the other thing, and then sometimes I have to be a little bit really honest to them because I'm just like, y'all don't, like, talk to each other. Maybe it fell behind you, or did you oh, it's underneath, like, underneath your, yeah.
My podcasting blanket.
I have one. Especially for you with the, ridiculously getting cold or whatever, like, which is, like, that's one thing, that's opposite about both of us, that, this is just mindless information for y'all, but like one big opposite with us. We have a lot of similarities, but the one probably biggest one is the air being slightly on or whatever, and Lacey is like acts like that she's in an ice bath.
Yes.
Like she has. I mean, I think you even told me like I have to go to sleep with it like warm.
Mm-hmm.
Like
yes. So when it's like 100 degrees outside and you get in the car and it's like so hot that like you feel like you're gonna that's the kind of temperature I want.
I mean it is. Well, I'll say, like, there is a time and place for temperatures like that. If you've been in a cold place or you've been sitting in a cold restaurant, that's like when that hot car kind of slaps a little bit. It's like, yeah, this is nice.
Yeah.
But I start to sweat. But me and Ashley are the exact same way about I mean, we have 2 box fans. Like we got another box fan because the other one broke. And like my back will be all sweaty in the morning and stuff, waking up for work if I don't have like one blowing on me and she's got one blowing on her, and it's just like that room, that circulation, airflow, and like, but yeah, let me see what she would freeze to death, basically, is what I'm trying to say. I was gonna make a joke about like what do you call it? Dang it, I'm blanking on what it's called whenever you your hands freeze and you get something.
Hypothermia?
Yes. Like, but yeah, it's just, that's one big difference. Is I don't know where she gets that, because, like, okay, just to remind people, like, we have the same mom, not the same dad, and our mom, his name is Peggy, and if I remember correctly, because I feel like I almost feel like she has a bit of both. Where, like, she'll get hot easy and then has to cool off, but then she's the type of person to, like, turn a ceiling fan off because very quickly she got cold. So I'm wondering if it's, like, if maybe I got how she is and you got, like, how that is from your dad. I don't know if your dad is, like... I know cold and hot natured is the words we're trying to use here, but I never remember which one is which, if I'm being honest.
I honestly don't either.
Because they always confuse it. I always thought hot natured is like maybe like you get hot easy, which would be me if that's the case. Or I could be cold natured because I would prefer the cold. I don't know, and I think that's more so what people actually are like. I'm not saying that you're the only one, but I definitely haven't met somebody, at least, at work or whatever, I'm not having conversations about this stuff with everybody, so I have no idea. But like I like the cold versus the hot versus heat, because I work in a cold cooler, and obviously the 2 jobs that I've had, have been cold, and so I'm kind of just used to it, but I think even before that I preferred it. And there's a lot of I get cold at work, yes, it will get to me every now and then, but then there's just this I have to push through it, I have to just deal with it or whatever. And so sometimes I'm a little bit eye-rolly when people come in it's so cold. I'm like, I've been in here for an hour, I don't want to hear it. But I go in and out of the cooler, so it's not like I'm there for a while, but there are times at the end of the night where I gotta throw stuff away and clean up, and that is I'm in there a while, I'll take my jacket in there and wear it, but it's not, it doesn't help a lot. But it's better than the freezer. The freezer is actually death worthy. But I don't know, that is a big difference. I like the cold, you like the hot. I don't remember what the differences are. We need here's what we need, guys. We need a crew for this podcast eventually. Like Theo Vaughn has, to be like, hey Jake, go look up this and this, and literally they have a monitor that's Googling stuff while we talk.
Right.
Or whatever. That would be nice. Because I would love to look up right now, hot natures versus cold nature, which one is it? As a matter of fact, I'm going to look it up. Cold-natured. I'll just look up cold-natured meaning. That'll be easier. Tending to be unemotional and unsympathetic. What? I didn't mean
cold-hearted.
Cold-hearted, cold-natured temperature meaning. That's hilarious that I read that out loud. Just highly sensitive to cold temperatures. Tending to be highly sensitive to cold temperatures. So, you're cold-natured then, and I'm hot-natured. But it sounds like it's should be flipped or something. highly sensitive to hot temperatures and preferring cold temperatures. So I did guess it right. I am hot natured, and so is Ashley and a few other people.
I'm cold natured.
That is interesting. Guys, let us know in the comments. What are you, cold natured, hot natured? It is summer outside, which I'm assuming because that tells you how opposite we are with that. Like you probably are loving the heat, right?
Yes, I love the heat.
You're a summer kind of chick.
Yes, 100%.
So, yeah, and I mean, and you even said, I think it was yesterday or today or whatever, you went to a pool or something. So you definitely are very like love doing that kind of thing. Just more so like, yeah, you definitely like being outside more when it's summer, but then when it's winter, you're like, nah, bro. Like,
no.
I am.
I just got the chills saying winter. If it is wintertime, I will be in my bed under 10 blankets, watching movies, drinking hot chocolate.
And I'm not saying that winter is not brutal in some ways, like when it snows and stuff, but like, I just prefer it. Like, I'd rather be snowed in and kind of like, not necessarily snowed in. I don't like, because you have to drive sometimes to work and something that sucks. But if I had to choose extreme heat, like we're literally in the depths of hell, or it snows and you get to have like a snow day snowed in at your home and you might go outside and experience the crisp air a little bit and then go in and warm up. I'd rather have that, honestly, even though there's a lot more to it. Like, with heat, you have, like, I just think of it as, like, that heat sometimes will destroy your vehicle because it's just, like, so difficult. But cold also does, but it, freezes our pipes and stuff like that. And, like, Mother Nature, man, like, just, like, there's not, the only middle grounds we have through the year is spring and fall. And, like, to me, the spring, especially where we live in the South, spring is still too warm sometimes, and I think fall, to me, isn't cold enough. So it's like, sometimes I swear spring and fall are like the same thing, but they got summer in between. It's just weird, like, we don't, and I know a lot of people,
I said, yeah.
Well, I know a lot of people, like Wisconsin people and stuff, have to deal with, like, it's rather really hot or straight up all winter it snows, and I'm grateful that we don't have to deal with that, because we just recently started getting like snows every year, like, but after like 10 years of not getting it. So, but yeah, I'd rather deal with the cold. Like, I'm like, after I get out of the shower, I gotta like turn a fan on me, and if I ever shower and then stream right after, like, that fan is like, I'm like, I don't even care if the mic picks it up. I'm just like, I gotta have it. But like with this, and I was wondering, because we're almost at streaming, podcasting in like my studio, it's also a guest room, hoping to have a massive, like a room about the size or more for when we get a house to only have gear and stuff in. But this, and I'm sure it sucks for you too whenever you and Kevin have spent the night, this is the coldest room in the house.
Yes, it is.
And so, yeah, and I think it's because of that air vent. I don't know what it is, but I think it's because our air filters, like, so to kind of explain this to listeners, like, our bedroom is at the back of the building, and I think the air all filters into this room, and then we just get, like, the remnants of that. It still goes into that room. We have all vents open, of course. Some people, I mean, I guess really all we'd have to do is close this one, but we just never do. But
next time I'm here, I'm probably going to, because I'm freezing right now.
But and see, like, and here's an example of that, guys. Like, to me, it's like right on that level of like, I'm not hot, but I'm comfortable. And if it was any warmer in here, I would hate it. Like, and I mean, creating and stuff like that, and like, we don't have like, I've got the lighting kind of low. It's not like super bright in here, so like anytime I've had to do like a live stream or like maybe do a Skype call with somebody and have decent lighting or whatever, I'm like burning up just from the light. And I think more clearly when I'm like when it's colder. I'm not saying like I'm brutally cold. I just colder temperature. That's just me. But whereas heat for me, just immediately I feel like bogs me down into like just sleepiness. Which sounds like it should be the way that I sleep, but then no, because I can't sleep whenever it's too hot. But I feel that it's so weird. It's like instant. I'll get in my car on break at work or whatever, and I instantly feel more tired because it's just like, that heat just kind of dehydrates you, just drains you. So I always try to find a balance. Like,
Right.
Sometimes being warmer, sometimes being colder, but...
See, I can be cold at night if I have a bunch of blankets on me. I kind of sleep a little bit better. Like, I don't want to be 90 degrees hot and sweaty,
Yeah.
but like Kevin keeps it 69 in the house and it never changes. So I do tend to get kind of cold, but I can always. It's a lot harder to be not hot, and then you can't. You can put more clothes on and more blankets on, but you can't take all your clothes off and then still be hot, and then you're like,
Yeah.
well, so that's how I look at it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I view, like, winter and stuff like that, is, like, I'm more comfortable with, like, throwing on more layers. Plus, I just also, for style-wise, like, I like hoodies and jackets and stuff. I hate the whole season of, like, literally just having to, like, wear a shirt and you're just grungy outside, you get sweaty. Like, anytime I take Pepper out, like, and walk her, like, it's instant. Like, I'm sweating, like, and I may have just showered. Even at night, sometimes I feel like it's too, like, sticky. I'm just like, man, like, that's one thing that winter has to me over summer, is at least if you go out and be cold, the air's cold, it's crisp, it's not, like, making you sweat. It's just worse to me. But it can be brutal. Like when we first got Pepper in that first winter that hit, I was just like, just having to walk her more in the cold, like literally, like even with a hoodie on, throwing everything on, a jacket, no matter what, it was like it was that, oh my god, please hurry up, dog, like please, I am freezing out here, but I still prefer it over, like, I'm burning up out here, the sun's beating down, like, I don't know. But
Yeah.
everybody's different.
But speaking of sleeping, I am really tired. Like I said, I'm normally in bed by now, and I was just like so excited to like record today, and I'm like, I can go an hour and a half, just like. But also on our Saturday nights, then I feel like our podcast is gonna be a lot longer than if we do Sunday nights.
Yeah.
Just because we have a lot more time. Like right now, it's almost 11, and I'm usually in bed by 9, so I'm like over here trying not to fall asleep.
Well,
Okay.
since we are over an hour, we can kind of wrap it up. Is there any advice, anything you want to give the people before we head off?
Motivate yourself. Find something
Self-discipline.
self-discipline. Something I'm struggling with so much right now is self-motivation. Like, I just woke up today, honestly, in, like, not so good of a mood. And I think it's because I did go to bed at, like, 3 o'clock in the morning, and then... and then I woke up at 9, and then I went back to sleep till, like, 10. And that's, like, really sleeping in for me, considering I normally get up at 8. And I woke up with like a headache and like just not in the best mood, because it's like, man, I'm supposed to go to work today, and then tomorrow was Monday, and even though tomorrow I'm excited to go to school because it's a new month at school, which means new things, especially in what they call pre-clinic, which is training kind of. But it's like, man, like I have to get up tomorrow morning and go to school, and it's just that part that's like, do I really want to go? And it's like so bad to the point where I'm like, well, what could I say to get out of going to school?
Yeah.
But it's like that kind of thing, kind of like calling to work. Well, what excuse can I? Oh, just got in a car wreck. But like, that kind of thing. Like, it's just that bad. But I know it'll get better as time goes on. So.
Yeah. And I'll just basically jump off of that. Self-discipline yourself, guys. It's a mindset. You'll just trust me when I say, you know that feeling of like, when would I ever feel like... I mean, even just small things, guys. Please, 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 go outside. Take a walk. Whether you're big or small, whatever. Like, you could be the skinniest person in the world. You will feel better when you go take a walk. Like, treat yourself, you know? Go take a walk and tell yourself, like, I don't know, or you can have a cookie after, for all I care. Like, just, you know, I told myself today, like, you are not allowed to podcast or stream until you do this workout. And it's, like, not a big deal because you could be there for 10 minutes, do a little workout, and you still feel better that you did it. Like, even if it was small, but I still went, sweated, genuinely surprised myself with, like, with the weights. I was like, oh, I'm starting to sweat, like, and I don't usually sweat when working out, like, too much, like, and it wasn't even hot in the room or anything. That means, like, my body needed to push that out. So, anyway, guys, we're gonna let you go. We love you, and, holler at us, comment, ask us questions, and we'll talk to you next time.
We're out.
Great.